Baby, don't you want company? Baby, don't you wanna see? Don't you wanna see what I've got inside? Baby, don't you wanna fly? Baby, don't you wanna fly? I'll get you high. I just wanna survive.